Hi everybody, I'm Lou. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this video that's all about the full moon happening in Gemini on November 26th. Now, a little disclaimer, I do say November 27th when I'm doing the readings. I did get the date wrong. It's happening on November 26th in the night and then like the morning of November 27th in Australia. So just be aware of the dates. Now, this is a general tarot card reading designed to help you to understand the energy of this moon and the things that can come up on the emotional level and how to navigate that, what to do about it, so that you can utilize this moon for healing or for growth or for expansion in whatever way serves you. I do recommend that you watch for your rising sign is the most accurate, okay? And then the moon sign as well, and your sun sign if you want extra details to fill that in. And as always, I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm doing this reading from, the Gumbaynggirr people, and recognize their continued connection to their culture and country. And I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. And let's do it. Hello there Aries, welcome to your reading for the full moon in Gemini on November the 27th. Let's open up the reading with the only thing, clear quartz. So this moon is happening in your third house. Gemini represents your third house, okay? And so this, and it's making an opposition with your ruling planet Mars, who is over in Sagittarius in your ninth house. So it's going to hit personally, it's going to hit home because Mars is your ruler and it's making this opposition. We're talking about integrating, okay? When we're looking at this kind of aspects, we're talking about integration, possibly happening through the breakdown of something, okay? The other thing about this moon is that it is making a T-square with Saturn, who is over in Pisces in your 12th house. So what this all means is we're looking at your narratives, the storylines you spin around your life, okay? So these are like the narratives that you wrap around life and the world and people and everything that you're engaging in life. There's needing to be a shift, and it may be an emotional shift. Maybe a lot of discomfort will come up emotionally for you, Aries, needing to make this shift, and maybe things coming from the subconscious with that T-square with Saturn. Saturn really asking you to work on your subconscious mind to build a foundation internally within your subconscious. That's a transit that started in March and will last for the next 2 years. So for the next 2 years, you're really going to be working on that, on the subconscious, building a foundation that's supportive for you, Aries. So looking at your subconscious programming, looking at your habits, looking at your addictions, your illusions, those kinds of things, as well as your connection with the divine, so that it can support you moving forward. And this moon's going to be a trigger point in that journey. Now, clear quartz is a crystal that is an amplifying crystal, okay? So it is neutral, right? So it is neither good nor bad. It does represent the clearing away of any illusions, like I said, with Saturn in the 12th, okay? Clearing out their illusions and getting to the truth of the matter, getting to the crux of the matter. But clear quartz just really amplifies whatever is already there. So if whatever's going on for you throughout this moon, whatever comes up for you, okay, know that this is being amplified for your attention. So when we're looking at the third house, ninth house axis, we're looking at our focus and our attention, our thought habits, our mental constructs, okay? So, and the meaning you apply to life, the meaning you apply to everything that is going on around you. And so that's being amplified during this moon with this clear quartz card for you to be able to see things that maybe are coming from the unconscious, that maybe you're not entirely conscious about. We have 3 kings and an emperor here, Aries. We have the King of Swords, the King of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Emperor. This is really, really about taking charge of your life, becoming the master of your realm, the master of your world. This is a powerful reading, Aries. I love this for you, okay? So this is getting clear in your thought habits, these mental habits. Like I said, third house, ninth house axis is about your thinking, Okay, your thoughts around it, the meaning you apply to life, your perspective. So this is getting really clear in your perspective. This is asking you to really clear up your perspective, and anywhere where your perspective is skewed, where there's an error in your judgment, will be magnified, will be amplified for you to notice and to recognize and to make an adjustment. We've got the King of Cups here, the Muse of Emotions in this deck. That's the moon energy. So the moon is emotive. It's the emotional body. So you can't just separate the mind and the emotions. So with this clear perspective, there's going to be a lot of emotion. But because it's the king, this is about really utilizing that emotional guidance system for the purpose it was designed for. Okay, so using it as information, using it as a language, as messages, to see what is clear and what is diluted, what is murky, what is coming from that subconscious mind of murkiness. See, with these aspects that are coming up, with an opposition with Mars, a square with Saturn, it's really challenging energy, okay? So there's like always going to be some sort of obstacle, some sort of challenge that's going to come up during this moon, but it's for the purpose of you really taking responsibility, taking charge of your life, becoming the emperor in your world, becoming the ruler of your domain, okay? We got the King of Wands here as well, which is the king of your confidence, of your spirit. So you've got that spiritual component coming through as well. So we're looking at your level of confidence or your level of self-worth too, even though the King of Coins isn't here. It's only one missing, okay? So maybe you're already okay with that sense of self-worth, and these are the things that you are needing to apply to whatever's coming up for you this month, during this moon, Aries. I love the Emperor card coming out for you because that is your card, okay? It's the card that you rule, and so this is telling us that you're in a really good position to step forward confidently during this moon, to solve whatever problems is coming up for you, to really get a handle on it, especially with that Mars opposition. So Mars will be helping. Mars may be encouraging you to shift, to change your perspective. So maybe there's a perspective shift that you need to move out of maybe a victimized sort of stance, or out of a space where you are powerless, and move into way more power, because of all of this energy is really showing us how powerful you are in this situation, Aries, during this moon. And I think that's what you'll really get out of the most is a great sense of power, a great sense of control over your life. And I think that you're going to be boosted you're going to have all the cosmic support that you need. So Saturn, like I said, in the 12th is trying to create this foundation in your subconscious mind that's going to be supportive for you. Saturn often gets a bad rap because it is considered to be a malefic planet. It is a malefic planet. But really, it is for the purpose of it's always for your benefit. It's not trying to hurt you. It's not trying to sabotage you. It's always for your benefit. It's trying to get you to a place where you are these kings and this emperor. You are in your full power. So Saturn really wants that for you, especially in the 12th. Now, in a couple of years' time, Saturn will move into your first house and will be amplifying you. So when that happens, this narrative, these kings and this emperor is going to be super important through that first house transit. So it'll be 2.5 years of that transit where you really solidify the next version, the next phase of who you are moving forward in your life. But for now, this is an undoing. There's an undoing of the person you've been for the last 28 years. In order for you to step more confidently into your power and be very clear in your alignment. Okay, Aries, so this is about clear alignment and clear power, and moving forward with clear confidence. So that is your reading for this moon, Aries. Good luck. This is a beautiful reading, and I will see you again in the December forecast. Take care. Hello there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the full moon in Gemini happening on November 27th. Let's open up the reading with Full of Riches citrine. So the citrine being the crystal of abundance, right? Of wealth, of riches. And this moon is hitting your second house. So Gemini represents your second house, which is the house of your income, your house of your finances, your resources, material wealth, okay? And also what you value. So this is a really profound card to come out for that. This card talks about really looking at your wealth from a different perspective. Instead of worrying about money, instead of worrying about material wealth, but looking for the wealth and abundance in the universe. So we're looking for, like paying attention to things that are beautiful in your realm, like, the rainbows, like birds singing, like there's a little nest here, there's flowers blossoming, that kind of stuff. The sun is shining, finding a way to tap into that feeling of worthiness and abundance in a more spiritual sense. We have the Queen of Coins has come out and the Seven of Coins too. So there is this money, this like worthiness storyline happening here. Now this moon is making an opposition to Mars, who is in Sagittarius, which represents your 8th house. So there is going to be a shift, possibly a shift for you financially. Okay, it may actually be physically within your physical resources, but it may just be on the internal level to do with how you feel about your own sense of worthiness. I do feel here with the Hermit card and the Queen of Coins, this is an internal process that's happening for you rather than an external process, okay? We've got the King of Cups with the Muse of Emotions in this deck. So we're looking at your feelings. Of course, with this moon, all full moons are an emotive process. So we're going through the emotional component of what's going on here for you, okay? And where you're investing your energy is 7 of Coins. So looking at your investments, maybe financial investments, but most likely going to be emotional investments. Where are you investing yourself emotionally, Taurus, is going to be really important. That's why this Full of Riches cards come out here. Are you investing yourself in a vibration of lack, of limit, of scarcity, or are you investing your energy or emotions in a vibration of abundance, which everybody can do no matter what your physical a sensation of abundance, where you are materialistically, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the opportunity to tap into some sort of beauty in the world and to feel that sense of abundance through that. Now, the other thing about this moon is that it's making a T-square with Saturn that is over in Pisces, that represents your 11th house. Now that's a challenging aspect again. So this is a challenging moon and there could be a lot of obstacles come up for you, okay? Now that Saturn in the 11th house means that possibly there is going to be other people involved. This is a very people-y house, okay? There's maybe your friends, maybe networks, maybe your community, okay? Bringing challenges, bringing obstacles to you, maybe in a financial sense. I like with the Hermit card here about just pulling back and going internal. So finding that sense of value from within, being your own sense of validation and your own, like being self-generative, Taurus, generating your own sense of worthiness regardless of what other people think of you. Because with Saturn squaring this moon the way it is, maybe it can be, you may have this tendency of trying to reach for your worth and your value through other people or through your position in the community or your position in your work. So that's something to be aware of, knowing that your position and what other people think of you has nothing to do with your actual worthiness. So you'll be a really good idea, Taurus, for this moon to just tend to take some time out, take some time away from people and tend to that sense of worthiness within in whatever way you can do, looking at the small things, looking for the smaller, easier things to tap into that make you feel worthy, that make you feel abundant, that feel like overflowing fullness and overflowing cup for you. I do like that this Queen of Coins, the card, has come out in the upright position, okay, because it is your card, Taurus. It's a card that represents you in the tarot, and in the upright position means that you're in a really good position. And that's coming, like I said, from this internal space, the Hermit. There's a sense of mastery here, of mastering your own worthiness, your own value. and then investing your emotions accordingly. So another thing that you can do with this moon is look at what you value. Look at the things you value, look at the people you value, look at the resources you value, and decide whether that's serving you or not. Okay, so like, are you prioritizing certain things that are limiting you or are just not working out for you? Or are you prioritizing and investing your energy into things, investing your emotions into things that are helping you to expand, helping you to grow, that are really supporting your life and the life that you're trying to create for yourself? So that's something that will come up for you. And maybe, you know, with that contrasting energy, maybe there's going to be some things that need to be changed, eliminated, integrated. Okay, there's a lot of integration happening through this moon, although it may not be easy for everybody. So that is your reading, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the December forecasts. Take care. Hello there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for this full moon. That is your annual full moon. So this is in your first house, representing you, and you have clear quartz, the only thing. So we're needing to get really clear. Okay, this moon may bring up a lot of distortions, is what I'm hearing for you, Gemini. So this will be about you, because this is your moon. So it's specifically about, you know, bringing everything back home to who you are, your identity, the person that you're becoming, that you're evolving into, the person that you project out into the world. Okay, so we're looking at that, and there's this need to get really clear about that, especially on an emotional level. With this moon is making an opposition with Mars. Okay, and that is in Sagittarius in your 7th house. So therefore, there may be other people involved, although they're not coming out in the cards. So it may just be you really battling within yourself, like an inner conflict. So Mars can bring a lot of conflict, it can bring a lot of change. It initiates change through firing something up. It can be passion. So it could be passion coming from a partner, or passion coming from within, but it can also be anger. So just be aware of that too. It could be anger coming up for you. Now this moon is also making a T-square with Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces in your 10th house. So it's going to be amplifying that storyline as well, Saturn. So this could have to do with your career, with your finances, with your public reputation, it could be also within your family. So knowing that there's going to be obstacles to overcome. I feel with the 10 of Wands here that you are feeling quite like worn out, Gemini. And you know what, that's okay to feel that way during your full moon, because full moons are very emotional, and so they really draw us in. They draw us inwards, and they can be quite a tiring part of the month. So you may be feeling really tired. You may be feeling really overburdened. Overburdened is the word that I'm hearing. Okay, and maybe that's what's causing this like fired up energy with the Mars opposition. There's this need to drop some of your own burdens. Now with the Knight of Coins as well, it's like really tending to that chop wood kind of idea of just tending to what you need to tend to at this time. What do you need to do to get clear in your vibration, clear in your alignment? The clearer you are in your alignment with yourself, when your alignment with your inner being, and the alignment with source energy, the easier this moon is going to be for you. Because there is here 7 of Swords, there is some stuff coming up. Okay, this is like triggery stuff, Gemini. So maybe it's going to come from a partner, like I said. Maybe it comes from work. Maybe it comes from life in general. Okay, it's stuff where you feel that you have been betrayed, that you have been let down, that you have been overburdened. You've had to take on too much responsibility onto your shoulders, and you don't feel like that has been fair with this 7 of Swords here is what I'm feeling for you. It's like it's not fair. This has also caused you to step into your own independence, 9 of Coins. It's causing you to really become self-sufficient, which is a beautiful thing, but not when you're feeling jaded or bitter about it. If that's how you're feeling, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling jaded, if you're feeling bitter, then That's this nine of coins is a really beautiful card. It's a really nice feeling card, although I'm not feeling good about it in this reading. So it's like maybe you have been forced into a position where you have to take care of yourself against your own will because other people haven't been pulling their own weight. Maybe that's what's going on, and maybe this moon will make you will fire you up a little bit, and then there's a catalyst for change. This moon's there's a lot of change coming around this moon. Or there's a lot of obstacles in different areas of your life. This could be this 10 of Wands energy where there's multiple different areas of your life that need your attention. You're like being pulled in multiple different directions. Other people could be helping, but they're not. So, like I said, get very clear about who you are, about the person that you are, the identity that you're going to project, the identity, what you're identifying yourself with, and take those bite-sized, small steps towards whatever you're trying to achieve. So break it all down during this moon into really manageable chunks. Okay, first I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and just really like easy, small, manageable things. So whatever you need to survive, just doing those and forgetting about everything else will be of benefit for you, Gemini, especially as you integrate some of this stuff that's been coming up for you. Like I said at the beginning of this reading, there's like this sense, I don't know what really it is about, but I feel this really like strong sense of distorted energy. It's like there's a distortion here. Maybe that's within your own mind, 7 of Swords. Maybe that's within somebody else's mind, okay? There's some sort of distortion that needs to be cleaned up. Maybe it's a distortion about how you view yourself. Maybe it's a distortion about how you view your partner, but there's some sort of distorted energy that you need to get really clear about, clear quartz. You really need to get an understanding of. Now, the thing about clear quartz is that it is an amplifying crystal, so it amplifies whatever is going on inside you. So that this moon will amplify that as well. So anything that you're experiencing, if you look at your external environment and you see things that you don't like, that are really uncomfortable, that have come up, and same if you see things that you really love, know that that's being amplified from within. So it's being amplified for you to recognize it and to see that there's something there that needs to be shifted. There's a distortion there that you need to choose a different way of viewing that from. So that can be an easier way to see, that it's not personal, to help you to detach a little bit and be like, okay, this has just been amplified for my attention. Okay, so that's your reading for this moon, Gemini. Really good luck to you, and I will see you again in the December readings. Take care. Hello there, Cancer. Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini happening on November 27th. We have transmutation, things changing, things moving into a different shape, shifting into a different form for you. This moon is happening in your 12th house. Okay, Gemini represents your 12th house, so it is a house of endings. I like that with this transmutation card because it's not really an ending, right? It's like it may feel like an ending. The black tourmaline feels quite dark. So throughout this moon may actually feel like you enter into a bit of a dark space is what I'm feeling for you, Cancer. But know that this is for the purpose of being reborn, right, into the light. Things changing. We've got the wheel here as well. Things are turning around in your favor, but this moon may feel quite unsettling for you at the time. Now that is because it is making an opposition with Mars over in Sagittarius in your 6th house, and it's also making a T-square with Saturn in your 9th house in Pisces. Okay, so that's really challenging energy. Mars and Saturn are both malefic planets, and it's hard aspects, so it's going to be a hard moon for everyone across the board, not just you, but it's challenging energy, and transforming, shape shifting is challenging. It's painful. Think about the caterpillar in the chrysalis, right? It's painful energy, not for the purpose of creating more pain or for punishing you or anything toxic, just for the purpose of that's like the growing pains is what I'm hearing for you, Cancer. It's growing pains, right? So you're growing into this new version of yourself possibly, or into this new version of emotional version of life. You're taking control and power over your world, but there's like these growing pains that need to happen in order for you to do that. So oftentimes, like most of the time, we do not shift, we do not move when things are going really well, when things are pleasant and they're easy for us. It's only when we encounter obstacles, contrast, pain, it's only when we encounter that kind of stuff that things shift and change for us, that we choose to shift and change and grow. We choose to move. So things have to, like a fire has to be lit under us in order for us to move. So think about that with this moon, especially if it's very emotional for you, which it will be. The 12th house is a very psychic, intuitive place. And we have the King of Cups here, the Muse of Emotions in this deck. Okay, so there is a deep emotional component to this moon for you. The moon's already emotional as it is. It rules you, you're a Cancer, so you have all the capacity to do it. But yeah, even Cancers, can get overwhelmed with deep emotions as well, especially if it causes you to want to retreat. I think retreating during this moon is a really good idea for you, Cancer. Take the time out, take that time to be with yourself, to be in privacy, in isolation even, to meditate, to work through this energy, in private. There's a good moon for that, to do that, because there could be a lot of health, like it could affect your health in a way with that Mars in the 6th house. Mars in the 6th house can amplify health issues or health things coming up for you. So, or, like acute things, not serious problems is what I'm talking about, but just things, so anywhere where you are feeling discomfort may end up manifesting on the physical level is what I'm trying to say. So making sure you don't just ignore it and actually work with this transmuting energy, work with the emotions so that you can address any physical stuff that comes up as well. There's this need to shift your mentality with Saturn there. Saturn may be really digging in its heels, getting you to create some sort of mental construct around whatever is going on. And that can be really hard when we've got the wheel here. Things are turning around, so things are changing. Change is inevitable during this moon, okay? Just know that. Everybody's going through their own sequence, their own version of change during this moon, but you doubly so because of that 12th house element. Now, the other thing about the 12th house is it is about coming into alignment with ourselves, okay? Because it is the house where we look at our connection with something greater than ourselves. So like source energy, your inner being, your higher self, God, whatever it is that you connect with, okay? Which is really just other versions of yourself, 2 of Cups. So this is really about self-partnering to get through this shift, okay? This is how you can do it. How you can do it successfully is by being your own partner in this, being your own and taking charge. The Emperor, we have the Emperor here. So taking charge of yourself, taking charge of your life, taking charge of your emotions, taking charge of your perspective, taking charge of the undoing and the shift that's happening, maybe even making really conscious decision and deliberate decisions around this change, not just sitting back and allowing the universe to sweep away whatever it is, but actually going out and being very decisive. The Emperor is very decisive. The Emperor makes her own decisions, or makes his own decisions, and basing and with the King of Cups here, we're basing it on this emotional quality that's coming up for you, okay, Cancer? So it is going to be a very emotional moon, a lot of change coming up, but I think that you have got this, remembering just to self-partner, remembering to be your own source of whatever it is that you need to get through this, and knowing that the wheel is turning in your favor. This is all for your benefit. Life is happening for you. This is all meant to be for the next step of your evolution. Okay, and so I will see you in the December forecast. Take care. Hello there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for this full moon that's happening in Gemini on November 27th. So this is representing your 11th house, this full moon, and feel in order to know is what you got. So this, like I said, this is representing your 11th house, okay, and it's making an opposition with Mars. Mars is over in your 5th house, okay, in Sagittarius. So Mars is really has been amplifying since the 24th of November, has been amplifying you and all the things that you naturally, innately connect with. So it's a really positive position to have Mars in for you, Leo. You may be feeling more in alignment with yourself than you have been in quite a few months. Now this moon is going to trigger a little bit of that, right? So it's going to utilize that on an emotional level to bring you closer to who you authentically, uniquely are. So that may not be the most comfortable experience. Okay, we got the 7 of Wands here, so definitely aligning with your own unique sense of self, okay? And now the other thing about this moon is that it's going to be making a T-square with Saturn, and Saturn is in your 8th house. And that, again, is a really uncomfortable aspect. So this moon is going to be initiating a lot of change, and that's across the board for everybody. Everybody's going through this level of change, and so it's bringing up a lot of things for us to deal with. We've got the 5 of Swords here as well. So there are things coming up from the subconscious for you to assess and to address during this moon. With Saturn has been in your 8th house, okay, since March, and will be there for another 2 years. Now, the Saturn is activating all things to do with your 8th house. So this is really about your sense of power and control. But the other thing in the 8th house does is it really gets you to look at your subconscious mind, at your psyche. So this is where we dive deeply within in this internal level and pull out things of our psyche in order for us to experience life with more depth, okay? So that's really the point to the 8th house, is for us to feel powerful, to feel empowered, and to be able to take that empowerment into life in order to experience all the riches of life. Now we've got the feel in order to know card here, and this is really about looking at your nervous system and regulating your nervous system. So maybe you'll feel very dysregulated in your nervous system. What I like about this is the feel bit. So this moons are emotional, right? The moon rules your emotional body, so you're feeling emotions in order for you to know. So Saturn is asking you to look at the emotional quality that is coming up during this moon, whatever that is for you. It can be any emotion. Feel the signature of that emotion. You know, maybe it's depression, maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's passion, maybe it's joy, maybe it's whatever the emotion is. Get to the bottom of that and know this has got a message for you. There's a reason why that emotion is coming up. Look at your life. Look at what's going on in your life and what that's triggering in you in order for you to really get to the crux of your inner psyche, in order for you to work on any vulnerabilities so that you can open yourself up to being more vulnerable. Now, again, like I said, with the 7 of Wands, it's about making an alignment with your truth. So we're looking at our truth as well during this moon for you, Leo, okay? And getting really clear about it. The Queen of Swords, she is the ultimate level of clarity, right? So she knows. The Queen of Swords never doubts her nervous system. She never doubts her mind. She knows. You know, you're not able to manipulate a Queen of Swords. You're not able to manipulate someone who is in their 7 of Wands, someone who is in their full alignment with their authenticity, with themselves, which is that Mars in the 5th house, right? Okay, they're not able to, there is no sense of or feeling of self-doubt here. But then when we come across to this side, we've got this 5 of Swords, there's that doubt. So there is doubt creeping in, okay? And there is this kind of leads to this sabotage. So that's that Saturn in the 8th house. It's in the 8th house is getting you to look at any doubt that's coming up for you, okay, for the purpose of clearing it. So whatever comes up, whatever happens in your environment, maybe activating or initiating feelings or emotions for you to assess, to address, to look at, to work with in order for you to get into this place of not being able to be manipulated, not having any of that doubt, and so that you are completely confident and sure of yourself, knowing that your mind is clear, is very clear. And we've got the 8 of Wands here too, so this is about momentum. So we're looking at the momentum. You can spiral easily, Leo, I feel, into that doubt. That doubt is going to be a slippery slope, is what I'm saying. It's like it could trigger you to really unravel, is what I feel for you, Leo. So if that happens, that's okay as well, because it's all just messages, it's all just information, right? If you completely unravel during this moon, feel it, allow yourself to feel the emotions. That's a message for every full moon, okay? Because then you will know. So if you're not sure, if you don't know, if you're feeling doubtful, really feel into it. Allow the momentum to sweep you away, knowing that once this moon's over, you can pick yourself back up. You can pick up all the pieces. That Mars will still be in Sagittarius, so Mars will still be initiating this energy for a while. This is just a catalytic moment in that transit for you to do this work so that you can come into alignment with your authenticity, with your truth. Okay, so that is your reading, Leo. Thank you so much for being here with me. Take care of yourself during this moon, okay? And I will see you in the December forecast. Take care. Hello there, Virgo. Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini on the 27th. This full moon is making a T-square with Saturn. So Saturn over in your 7th house. And we have Heal Your Heartbeat as the card that came out, okay? So Saturn is in your 7th house and is making this angle, this T-square angle with the moon, the sun and the moon, and Mars is conjunct the moon as well in your 4th house in Sagittarius, okay? So what all that jargon means is that there is a lot of tension coming out. So a T-square represents a very intense, like, contrasting experience where there may be two components of your life that are not gelling. They do not come together, and you have to make some sort of sacrifice, some sort of decision, some sort of change in order to match up or to move forward, okay? So it's conflict, it's having to resolve some tension, right? With Saturn in your 7th house, this could be to do with partnerships, to do with intimate partnerships, or relationships. We've got the Tower here, definitely, and the Queen of Cups for this deck as well. So this is really a heart space, heartfelt reading, and that's because this full moon in your 10th house is, the sun is in your 4th house. So this is the 4th house being your house of your heart, your emotions, your emotional guidance system. Mars will be firing that up. Mars is firing that up with a lot of heat, whether that is passion, whether that's excitement, or whether that is anger and bitterness and resentment. So the guidance here and what I'm seeing for you here, let's move through the cards. So the Heal Your Heartbeat card is really a call to look at your heart and the resonance of your heart, the coherence of your heart, as Joe Dispenza says, right? So making your heart and your mind beat or move in the same rhythm, that coherence, okay? So what that means is we're looking at anxieties, we're looking at resistance, we're looking at our fears, our doubts, the chaos, anything that feels chaotic, right? The Tower here, it creates, like, instead of having a nice rhythmic heartbeat, it makes our heartbeat out of sync. It makes our heartbeat faster or slower or irregularly. And so then when we have that irregularity, we move out of sync with the universe as well. When we have coherence, when our heart is beating coherently, when our mind is thinking coherently, and we have these coherent waves, we send messages out into the universe. The heartbeat is the magnet, so it draws experiences back to us, and we have this beautiful coherent flow of energy. So this moon is really clearly bringing up for you the situations or the circumstances that are showing you what is knocking your heartbeat out of coherence with the universal flow, out of coherence with your desires, with your goals, with what you want for yourself, or with love itself. So this may be about your partner. It could be about your loving relationship. So if there's conflict there, if there's something going on, this is about finding that coherence between your heart and your partner's heart as well. With the Queen of Cups here, there is this need for gentleness, for compassion. So if this is very tense energy for you, if this means very strong, very emotional, Okay, remembering to be gentle on yourself, remembering to bring it back to that coherence, bring it back to that heartbeat. If you can feel into your heart space and feel how your heart is feeling, and apply an amazing amount of love, an amazing amount of compassion to yourself, to get through this chaos, the Tower, to get through this, whatever's coming up. If this Tower card is representing a situation, this could be a sudden and dramatic situation, like a clash or a conflict with another person, that could be a problem. So there's this need to just be soft, to soften and be gentle, to tap into your femininity. Even if you're a male, if you don't identify as masculine, that you have that feminine component too. So tapping into that femininity of gentleness, of compassion, of ease on yourself and on other people. So what I am seeing as well for you is that you are trying to achieve something. It's like that you're trying to achieve a goal. This moon is in your 10th house, so it could also be about your career, but what I'm really feeling is this is about relationships. It's about marriage or family, or it could be business relationships. But there's something missing, 8 of Cups, right? So there's something that is emotionally missing that's causing this dysregularity, this disruption in your heartbeat. Is causing that to you to become dysregulated. So what I'm really hearing for you, Virgo, is this dysregulation, and you're really needing to self-soothe, Queen of Cups. Really needing to apply massive amounts of self-soothing to help regulate that, because whatever's missing, 8 of Cups, whatever is missing from your life, there's this coherence with it is not there. That's why it's lacking. That's why it's missing. That's why you're not manifesting it. You're not creating with it. You're not drawing it to you. The heart is the magnet, draws it to you. It's because there is no coherence there, or there is a disruption in the coherence there, and so it's not coming, it's not manifesting. So the way that we heal that, obviously, is by investing our energy, 7 of Coins, investing our time and our energy into what we want instead of what we don't want. So if you're resonating your vibration with what you don't want, the universe will continue to deliver that to you. And this moon can be a really great example of that for you, Virgo, really showing you where your heart is out of alignment with the desires that you have for yourself, for your life, for your future, for your goals, for your relationships, okay? And showing you what's missing. So whatever's coming up is going to show you what's missing and why. So that is your Gemini full moon this month. Good luck with it all. Remembering gentle amounts or excessive amounts of gentleness, of self-soothing, of whatever it takes to regulate your heart, regulate your heartbeat, meaning even deep breathing, relaxation exercises, dropping down into your heart space, stopping the thought habit, stopping the thoughts and moving into that heart space. It is Sag season, so your heart space is really open at this time anyway. Tap into it, utilize it. It's your creative place. That's where we create from, is our heart. So if you can master this, you can master anything. Okay, so that's your reading, Virgo. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you next month. Take care. Hello there, Libra. Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini on November 27th. We have Envision the Future. I really like that card for you, actually, Libra, because this is in your 9th house, right? This is activating your 9th house, which is the house where we set up our perspective. We set up our mindset for the future. So how we view our life, how we view the world, how we relate, how we interact with life, with the universe, with people in general. Okay, this all embodied in the 9th house. So that is the house of our faith, of our knowledge, okay, of our understanding and our perspective. And so this is what's been activated. This full moon is making a T-square with Saturn, is making an opposition with Mars in the 3rd house. It's a really hard moon. It's going to be a tough moon. It's going to challenge us. The T-square meaning that there is going to be there's going to be obstacles maybe that seem like you can't even overcome them. But the cards are telling you the way we do this, the way we overcome them, is to envision the future. So you may feel a tendency throughout this moon particularly to Focus on the thoughts, focus on the logic. But let's remember, okay, Libra, that moons are emotive. The moon represents our emotional realm, our emotional body, and our emotional needs. And so if you're trying to logic your way through this moon, it's going to be really challenging for you. We do have the Five of Swords here. So this is what I'm talking about, okay? There's this conflict that is coming through trying to be too rational. Your rational mind, your thinking mind is limited. It's very limited. That's how I feel with that Mars in your third house, the Sun in your third house conjunct, okay? It's really shining a light on, it's shedding a light on where you are limiting yourself, Four of Coins, through your mental constructs of life, your mental constructs of your future, your mental constructs of your vision for your future, for yourself. It's like your mind can't see beyond the programming that it has received. It cannot see the expanse that is here. Page of Wands can see the expanse, okay? This is on the other side of the scale. You can choose to tap into it any way, which way. And I think that Saturn will be kind of really activating this mind, like fear-mongering almost, I feel, for you through this moon, by activating the mind, right? The mind's going to be trying to take control of the situation, trying to keep you safe, like for the purpose of keeping you safe, but it's also blocking you off from possibility. The ninth house is the house of possibilities, is the house of miracles. It's ruled by Jupiter, okay? So it's the house of blessings and amazing things happen in that ninth house. So you have to be open to it though. So tapping into a Page of Wands feeling, Page of Wands they're very curious, they're very passionate, they're very like instinctive, driven by their instincts, by their excitement, what excites them. They're impulsive. Okay, the Emperor too, we've got this Aries energy. Aries is very impulsive, but the Emperor is the ruler of his domain. He rules his empire. And so in that ninth house, you're looking at your empire, okay? Looking at, and when I say your empire, I mean everything that is in your sphere of reality. So it can be your work environment, your relationships, your family, what you're building to leave a legacy here is your empire. And you are the ruler of that. And so to be the ruler of that, you need to take charge of that. And maybe that means for you during this moon, Libra, that you need to take charge of your mind. Maybe you need to really take the reins of your mind and just be like, no, we're not spiraling down that path of obsessive thinking, negative thinking, you know, those limiting beliefs, keeping ourselves safe, Four of Coins, keeping ourselves stuck. There's expansion happening here. So this is that T-square between being safe, being logical, being rational, and then going for the expansion, going for the excitement, going for the travel, the journey. Okay, ninth house is journey and travel and adventure. Adventure, that's it. That's the word I was trying to think of, Libra. So maybe there's adventure here, and there's like your split between this adventurous side and this rational, logical side. There's, you know, your mind's telling you this adventure is not possible, it's not safe, it's not realistic, and your heart is telling you, yeah, but it's really exciting. And that's kind of the two components that you're juggling here. And what's going to win is going to depend on you. You know, that old saying of which wolf you feed will be the wolf that will win the war, okay? So keeping your eyes set on the future and what you're envisioning, what you want for yourself in the future is going to really help you, Libra. Okay, so that is your reading for this full moon. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time. Take care. Hello there, Scorpio. Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini that's happening on the 27th of November. We have Get Curious, Carnelian. This full moon is happening in your 8th house, okay? And it's making a tight opposition to Mars in your 2nd house. It's also making a T-square with Saturn in your 5th house. So what all that jargon means is that this is going to be a very challenging moon. That Mars and Saturn are malefic planets, which means they bring obstacles, they bring change, they bring restrictions and resistance and challenge. Okay? It's never for a negative reason. Everything that happens for a reason. The universe doesn't challenge you, doesn't test you. It's just providing situations to help you to evolve, to grow, to move through to the next level. So really it could be something you've called in for yourself, and there's things that need to be cleared away. There's debris is what I'm seeing. There's baggage that needs to be cleared, and that's what these challenges, these obstacles are for. So if you can come at it with that perspective, with that perspective that life's a journey, life's an adventure, and this is all just for the greater good of your soul, of your evolution. It's all for you, not against you. Then you can tap into this curiosity. You can access that curious space and utilize that curious space to help you to move through it. So there may be things that come up for you, definitely out of your subconscious psyche. The 8th house does bring things up out of there. There could be a lot of mental stuff going on, like a lot of mind and belief and thought habit stuff going on. We've got Ace of Swords, King of Swords here, so coming up, particularly probably in terms of resistance, okay, for you to look at. And if you can look at that through this curious lens, if you can try and access clarity by thinking, wondering what if, instead of digging in and being resistant to it, that can really benefit you during this moon phase. We do have the 2 of coins here, so this means that there's things to juggle. And like I said, this is tense energy. When we have a T square, there's 2 components of your life that are not meshing, they're not gelling. You have to juggle. 2 of coins, you have to juggle it. And the way that you can juggle this is the Page of Coins is either there's knowledge that you need to gain, and that's why there's Get Curious cards here. Maybe you can look for gaps in your knowledge. Gemini is the sign of knowledge and wisdom, so maybe there's gaps in your knowledge, and there's things you need to learn. There's things that you need to understand. King of Swords. There's new information, Ace of Swords, that you can find to help you to overcome these obstacles. If you get curious, if you start investigating, if you start exploring, if you start asking people, talking to people, you may learn some new information that can help you move forward. The other thing about the Page of Coins is that it's really important to put some plans in place, to set yourself some goals so that you can juggle this, so this doesn't become overwhelming. I think more knowledge will help you to do that as well. So there's somewhere in whatever's coming up for you, and this is transitional energy to Scorpio. So there's transformation afoot, right? There's things shifting for you. 8th house, we're shifting, you're shifting. Maybe you're shifting with a partner, maybe you're shifting without a partner. As you make these shifts, new things will come up. This is a new situation. It's not the same as what it used to be, and that's why you need to be curious about it. If you start applying old belief systems, old expectations, old thought structures to these new experiences, you're just going to morph them into familiar old patterns. They'll just keep repeating themselves. So as you move through this full moon in the 8th house, allow yourself to let go of control, to let go of the need to know and to be right. And that's what I'm hearing for you. Let go of the need to be right, Scorpio, and let go of the need to know, and open your mind up to the possibilities, all of the possibilities of what could possibly be happening. For example, say this does involve somebody in a relationship. So the 5th house, the 5th house where Saturn is, that can be your children. It can also be like spontaneous flings and that new honeymoon phase of relationships. So if you're in a new relationship, let's roll with that as an example. Maybe things come up for you during this moon where you are challenged between 2 components of your life, and this person doesn't seem to fit. Well, instead of putting old structures in place of this is what happened to me last time, this is what people have done to me in the past, this is what society says that this kind of person is like, instead of doing that, dropping those guards, dropping those automatic reactions, automatic responses, and just being I wonder, what if this person is not like those other people? Or what if, I responded in this different way, maybe I'd get a different response, or I wonder what they're doing. And that's a really powerful way to approach a person if you're in a connection with somebody, is like, okay, the story I'm telling myself is that X, Y, and Z. You did this because of that. So I'm wondering what the real story is, or I'm wondering what your perspective is on that, or can you tell me why you did that, because this is the story I'm telling myself. That helps that person to have a little bit of insight into your insecurities and your inner narratives, your belief structures that we all have, but it also helps that other person to defend themselves in a non-defensive way. They would most, like 99% of the time, they'll be like, that's not what was going on at all, and then they can tell you what was happening for them. It's a way of opening up a safe space to be vulnerable. And that 8th house with the Gemini full moon is the house of our vulnerabilities. So if you're being encouraged to come at vulnerability from a very cognitive place, okay, from this curious space, and not jumping to any conclusions. Okay, so that is your moon, Scorpio. Good luck with it all, and I will see you next time. Take care. Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the full moon in Gemini that's happening on November 27th. So this moon is a significant moon for you because it is in your 7th house. So that is an angular house. It's an important house in your chart. It represents your relationships to other people. So most likely your past, present, or future partnerships, okay? And so these people in your life will be at the forefront of this moon. Now, this moon is making an opposition to Mars. So Mars is in your 1st house, in your sign. So you may be fired up either in a very passionate way or in a very angry way. Either way, there's a lot of heat coming from that opposition with Mars, but it's also making a T-square with Saturn. Now, Saturn is in your 4th house. That's your house of your foundations, your emotional center, your home and your family. So it could also be, not just your partnerships, but also your family members or your home, your physical residence. But whatever it is, it's going to be a heightened emotions. There's going to be a lot of emotions. And maybe feeling even restricted and not able to express your emotions may be an obstacle for you at this time, Sagittarius. So there may be a tendency with this moon for you, Sagittarius, to be really, I want to say self-centered, but I don't mean that in a negative context. And just be really concerned about your own personal affairs, concerned about your unique goals, your own life, what's happening inside of you, what's happening in your world. And the citrine card here with full of riches is really encouraging you to soften that a little bit and find the blessings in the world around you. So this card does encourage you to look for those little beautiful moments, those little beautiful things, those little glimmers around you, and to pull you out of that. So if we start to spiral, that's the thing, when we get very self-focused, we can start to spiral really quickly into dark places, into toxic places. And if that happens for you, you stop noticing these beautiful things in the world, like the rainbows or the sunshine or the birds, or the flowers, smelling the roses. Literally those kinds of things are what this card is encouraging you to do. So that's the remedy, that's the medicine. If you're starting to get too involved in your own mind, too involved in your own life and what's happening. We had the Devil card come out in reverse. So this actually, despite the fact that it's a challenging moon, it is actually about releasing you from something that has kept you trapped for a long time, maybe even since childhood. So there is this opportunity to create freedom. This is what this moon is about. So whenever there's a T-square, there's two opposing forces in our life, or multiple opposing forces in our life that don't seem to gel. We can't seem to mesh them together. We can't seem to get them to work. There seems to be no answers, ethical dilemmas or whatever it is. But this is for the purpose of freeing you. See, Saturn keeps you trapped. Saturn likes to put restrictions on you, likes to put rules on you, likes to make sure that you are within some sort of structure, within some sort of boundary. So Saturn is going to be doing that, whereas this moon may be pulling you out of that, offering you freedom. Now, freedom comes from within. Okay, freedom is a decision. Freedom is an emotion, an emotional quality of choosing, to make your own choices in life. So you have that freedom. You have the freedom to make whatever choices you want in your life. Whether those choices are going to be easy to make or not is a different story, but you are free. And so there's this opportunity to free yourself from patterns that have kept you stuck. Now, the Knight of Coins does sort of signify that it's going to take a while. So this moon may just be the catalyst, but there's going to be work to be done here. So even up to 6 months, up until the Gemini new moon, which happens in June, right? You may take that long to really integrate what comes up for you. This is what I'm saying about this moon. It's so powerful, it's so profound, it's so strong, and it's so harsh. The energy is so harsh that it really could set you on a path for the next 6 months and having to really tend to and take steady steps towards some sort of level of growth, level of expansion. With the Seven of Cups, I do feel like there's a heavy amount of confusion. And that's because there's these two components or multiple components of your life that don't mesh. And it's like, okay, which one's real? Which one's just glitter, so maybe you don't have all the information that you need to make the decisions that you're being asked to make. Maybe there is not any ability to even find that information. It's just something that you're just going to have to live through, but to know how it will end, to know what's the right way to go about it. So the Seven of Cups does kind of indicate that you're being maybe even distracted by glittery things over here when the real work is over here. Maybe you're being distracted by going too internal, by utilizing these reflections, these mirrors to, what I'm feeling is like beating on yourself, taking on the blame, taking on the guilt, taking on shame that is not really yours. And that's why this card is asking you to pull out of that downward spiral, internal spiral, and start looking at the beauty in your life, looking at beautiful things, even if that is just as simple as a rainbow or a flower that you walk past or a flower in your garden or something like that. These are the gems of life. This is the abundance. This is the true abundance in life, and can help you to sort of detach from the results that you're trying to create over here. So there's a lot of result-oriented energy, and then there's this opportunity to uplift that and detach. The Nine of Wands does represent that there is this need for perseverance, like I said, with the Knight of Coins. So you will have to persevere through and keep going. There's this need for a bit of strength to get through what's coming up for you with this moon, tapping into your inner resource, into your strength. You've come this far, Sagittarius. You can go the distance. You definitely can go the distance and get to the end. There's no doubt about that. Even if you're a little bit battered, a little bit bruised, a little bit sore, maybe your ego may even be a little bit sore. Okay, but this is for the purpose of freedom. Remember, we're moving towards freedom. So whatever that means for you, Sagittarius, having that as your mantra, having personal freedom, having freedom as your mantra, freedom as your goal, freedom as your destination, allowing yourself, setting yourself free on this moon, allowing yourself to not have to be so harsh on yourself, not have to be so rigid on yourself, especially emotionally. So you can, even in the crux of a difficult situation, you can choose to shift your focus onto these enjoyable moments, these glimmers of hope throughout your day. And that's going to help you to get through this Saturn transit in your 4th house anyway, because Saturn is making those heavy emotions come to the forefront. Okay, so we need to counterbalance that with some positivity, some hope, some optimism, and some abundance too. Okay, so that is your moon. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you next time. Take care. Hello there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the full moon that is happening in Gemini on November 26. You have There Are Worlds Within You. Now this moon is happening in your 6th house, okay? But it's making an opposition to Mars in your 12th house. So the 12th house is literally the house of the worlds within you. And it's the house of your connection to your inner being, to your higher self. So I picked up this deck of cards in reverse, and all the cards are in reverse, but I think that is significant for you, Capricorn, so we're going to read them as reversals. The reason why I feel like that is when the card is reversed, it's talking about more internal, so the more internal inner realm. It's talking about like what you can do on the internal level, how you can integrate and tap into your inner world to affect your outer world. And because we're talking about the 12th house here, we're in Sagittarius season, and this moon is opposing Mars in the 12th house. That 12th house is your house of your inner realm, the world within you, the way you tap into the higher being. Okay, and we have there are worlds within you card as well. So it's all pointing in that direction that this is a week, or this is a moon, where you need to really pull back from the external world. The full moon in the 6th is going to pull you into the external world. It's going to pull you into the material world, 10 of coins in reverse. Okay. But actually, I think that you're going to need to take your attention off the material world, off the physical world, and really work on your inner self. This moon is making a T-square with Saturn, your ruling planet. That's significant for you, Capricorn, okay, because it's your ruler and it's in your 3rd house. So this is affecting your mentality. It's affecting your mind. Your thoughts are going to be really important. So really monitoring, analyzing, investigating your thought habits is going to benefit you through this moon. Because of the conflict, T-squares set up contrasting experiences that are really hard to gel together. So you may be being pulled in multiple different directions and it's unclear how you're going to actually pull that all together and make everybody happy or achieve the results that you want in all areas of your life. So this moon is encouraging you to explore your own inner layers, okay? The universe within you, the realm within you, and taking your focus off the external. And it is a moon, so it's looking at your emotions. We have the 6 of Cups in reversed here, okay? So it may feel like either you don't have time to look at these emotions are arising, okay? The 12th house, where Mars is in opposition, is the house of our subconscious mind. It's kind of where we trap trauma or wounds, and especially from childhood, okay? So this could be childhood things coming to the surface that haven't been dealt with, that are affecting your material world. So this is obviously going to have that impact on the material world. It's your 6th house. But what's going on inside? So the material world is only ever a reflection of what's going on inside of you, okay? It's only ever a reflection of the internal world. This is the time to recognize that and to look at what you want to change, especially if you're feeling a lot of conflict. How can you ease the conflict within? Now, usually what that means is finding the 2 or multiple aspects of yourself that are in conflict. So if there's inner conflict, maybe there is contrasting needs of 2 aspects of yourself, or maybe there is contrasting opinions on how to move forward. Okay, so one aspect of yourself might be trying to protect you from one thing, and another aspect may need that thing in order to thrive, and there's a clashing in there. So that's the kind of thing that could be coming up for you. So if you're feeling conflict externally or internally, looking at those aspects within yourself, okay? This may have to do with your sense of confidence, especially your confidence to speak your mind. Queen of Wands in reverse, the 5 of Cups in reverse. So we're talking about Saturn in the 3rd house, speaking your mind, but with the 5 of Cups in reverse, this is about old pains, old wounds, old traumas, ways that you have, the things that you have lost, the things that you have grieved for, but you haven't really, because it's in reverse, you know, you're holding on to that. And that's what happens with the 12th house. Anything that we're holding on to, it's the house of our baggage. So this moon really is a deep decluttering of the deepest parts of your psyche, Capricorn. It's going to happen to you whether you like it or not. So it's best, my opinion, my advice is to embrace it and go with it and do the work while the moon is active, because otherwise it's just going to come out as chaos. It's going to come out as chaos and conflict within your external environment and in your internal environment. And then these inner childs, these inner aspects are just going to become more wounded, and it's going to keep going, and you'll carry it forward. And so just stop and do the work is all I'm saying. You know, looking at places where maybe you felt a sense of loss, particularly around your confidence or your self-esteem. Maybe there was things that affected your self-esteem. I mean, the most obvious thing that comes to mind is relationship breakdowns. If you lost someone that you loved, then that affected your self-esteem, but that's not necessarily what's coming up, okay? I'm just giving you an example. You know, those kinds of things may be reflecting in your environment at this time, and it may not be that obvious. That's why there's this need to go internal. The best way to do this will be to meditate, to journal, okay? That 12th house is all about meditating. I know that's not easy, but taking that time out for yourself to do this work, to meditate on it, to listen to the internal aspects, listen to the voices within, to the realm within that's trying to speak to you, is going to help you later on down the track, especially as we move into Capricorn season next month, okay? So, I'm sorry that I don't have better news than that this moon, it's unavoidable, it's intense. These kinds of aspects, when we get these really hard aspects with the harsh planets, so Mars and Saturn are both malefic planets, and they're in the harshest aspects you can get. And the moon being so emotional, so it's hitting our emotional center, right? It's hitting us really hard in our heart space. There's a purpose behind that. It's not to torment you. It's not to make you suffer. It's not to just play games with you. The purpose is as a catalyst for change. So Mars is really encouraging you to change. It likes quick change, sudden change. And Saturn also likes change, but it likes it to be more slow and more predictable and more organized. But the change is change nonetheless. And this is that change on the really internal level, that once you've made that shift, once you've done that integration work, you never have to repeat those storylines again. You never have to repeat these patterns. You never have to repeat. You can move forward. You can uplift and elevate yourself into a new space and new reality and start drawing in new experiences. Unfortunately, we cannot draw in new experiences unless we change these aspects of ourselves. And that's the only way to create new things in life, is to create some sort of newness within. And so this moon is really pushing for that for you, Capricorn. Okay, so I've rambled enough. Really take care of yourself. That's the most important thing, is to really tend to your physical needs. Okay, tend to your body. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Eating high quality foods. Okay, that's going to help a lot. And I will see you next time. Take care. Hello there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the full moon in Gemini on November 27th. Now, this full moon is happening in your 5th house. This represents your house of desire and your house of joy and pleasure. Okay, so this is a very creative space. It's a house of your creativity and the house of your heart center as well. So like looking at the things that you do creatively, like creative hobbies, creative passions, looking at the things that you do for the sake of the joy of doing them. So they're those things that we get lost in, you know, where we're not doing it just for money or for achievement or success. We're doing it because we love doing it, okay? And you've got the card, what do you need? So this moon, you know, this moon is a very polarizing, very contrasting moon. We've got this opposition with Mars happening in Sagittarius in your 11th house, and it's a T-square with Saturn in your 2nd house, okay? And so this is going to be really challenging aspects for this moon, and the moon being our emotional body, it will come up in an emotional way. So there could be conflicting emotions, there can be challenging emotions, there could be multiple experiences in your life that are dragging you in different directions, and the cards are really saying to you, like, what do you need to feel that sense of joy, to feel that sense of pleasure, to fill yourself up with that creative energy, because you cannot overcome obstacles like this without tapping into your creativity. So if you don't have access to that creativity, figure out what you need to in order to gain access to that creativity. It is likely that there has been a lack of joy, or there's been a lack of this creative flow in your life. And so this moon is really challenging you to figure out why. Okay, there's the emotional quality, the Queen of Cups coming out, the Four of Coins coming out, meaning that you are blocking. There's a block here. Okay, and like I said, Saturn does put blocks in place. We've got the Sun and the Two of Coins as well. Beautiful. So Saturn in your second house. Saturn has been in your second house since March, will be there for another 2 years, okay? It's activating that second house of material resources, your possessions, your money, but also the things that you value on like even on the emotional level, on the cognitive level, okay? So Saturn really trying to put structure in place. Mostly it'll be activating your finances and your resources, wanting you to really put something in place for the long term. Saturn does things in order for longevity, for you to last a long time. So wanting to put in a foundation or a solid foundation for your finances or your resources to last you for the next 28 to 30 years, right? So that you are taken care of, so that you can look after yourself. Saturn has just been in retrograde and moved direct on November 4th. And so maybe there has been, while Saturn was in retrograde, this tendency for you Aquarius to hold on tightly, hoarding. This Four of Coins energy is really hoarding, worrying about money, worrying about the flow of money, saving money because of needing, you may need it for a rainy day instead of saving money for a specific goal, a specific purpose. That kind of energy, when we're coming at life with that kind of energy of hoarding our resources, hoarding our money, without a goal, okay, it does send an indicator to the universe that you are in lack, okay, that there is not enough. And so when we're in that space and we think that we need to save money because there isn't enough, then the universe will continue to deliver us situations where there is not enough money, that we do not have enough money, because that's the vibration we're putting out. So it's different if you're saving, if you have a goal, if you're trying to save to buy a house or a car or, for a holiday. That's different because you're allocating that money to something, so it is flowing. And when you get to that point where you can spend it, will flow out. So there is a flow there, okay? But if you're just saving money because you don't want to be poor, in the future, if you're worrying about the future, then you're actually stagnating the flow of money. Money is supposed to come in and out in a cycle. It's meant to flow. And when we pinch off one side of that flow space, the flow stops, okay? And so we stop receiving money. So it's looking at that. Now we're looking here again, like I said, the emotive qualities here. So the emotive qualities with the Queen of Cups, like really tapping into why you are feeling that sense of insecurity, that sense of lack of safety in your resources, finances. So what do you need in order to feel secure financially? Maybe this is financially, or creatively. It can be about your creative pursuits as well. What do you need? We also have, like I said, there's this opposition with Mars in Sagittarius. That's activating your house of where you belong, the groups you belong to, so your friendships, your work networks, your community as well, okay? And so maybe there is some shifts happening there that are causing you to feel a little bit dysregulated. So looking at what you need in order to open up, become more open, and to feel this sense of joy. We've got the Sun here, okay? So the fifth house, like I said, is your house of joy. It's your house of creativity, and that's the Sun. The Sun is the life-giving, the life force energy. So if you're blocking off and shutting off your creativity, Aquarius, okay, you're blocking off your life force energy. That's how we move through this world successfully, is by tapping into this 5th house elements and into our desires, into our creativity, into our joys, the things we do for the joy of them. That's how we speak to the universe and send signals to the universe that we are safe, that we feel provided for, that we are happy, that we are grateful, that we are appreciative, okay, through doing and engaging in those kinds of activities. So tapping into that happy space. And there is a lot to juggle with the 2 of coins here, you know, so there's multiple things. Like I said, this T-square, this opposition with Mars, square with Saturn, there's multiple areas of your life that are just not going to gel at this time. And so it's going to be really difficult. You'll feel like you're being pulled in multiple different directions. 2 of coins. You might have to juggle. You may have to be running from one end of the scale to the other, juggling everybody and everything. And it may be feeling really overwhelming. So what do you need in order to be able to sustain that for the time period that it's going to take? I mean, this moon can last up to 6 months. You know, hopefully it's not that long. Hopefully this is just a really heightened period, and then it will sort of evaporate over the next couple of weeks. But if you need to sustain yourself for longer than that, what do you need in order to feel this sense of success and achievement and satisfaction and joy? How can you do this in a way? Get creative. The 5th house is your creativity. Get creative around how you can juggle these things, how you can manage these things for the long term, Aquarius. Okay, so that is your reading for this moon. Good luck with it all. Remember to bring it all back to what you need and what you need in order to feel successful and feel joy. Joy is the underlying element of this moon for you, Aquarius. So following that sense of joy will be the best benefit for you. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Hello there, Pisces. Welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini happening on November 27th. Okay, so this full moon is happening in your 4th house, and we have first the fire. So this full moon is happening in your 4th house, which is a very emotive house. It's actually the house that the moon naturally rules. Okay, so the moon is very strong here, and this moon is going to be a particularly strong moon anyway because of the aspects that it's making. So it's making an aspect with Mars, and we have the Tower here, which is ruled by Mars. Okay, so, and this first, the fire, that's why I laughed, is because there's Mars is involved. It's making a tight opposition with this moon. It's over in Sagittarius in your 10th house. So there's going to be something fiery coming up for you. There's going to be some challenges, some obstacles coming up for you, and Mars likes to burn things to the ground. Mars can be very passionate, so it can bring up a lot of emotions. You've got the Muse of Emotions here, okay, King of Cups in this deck, so it's about balancing those emotions, but Mars can bring up emotions like anger and rage, you know, and those kinds of fiery emotions, but it can also bring up emotions like passion and enthusiasm and excitement. So looking at that as well. Now, the other thing about this moon is it's making a T-square with Saturn in your 1st house, in your sign Pisces, okay? So it's going to challenge you on multiple different levels. These are all your angular houses, so it's a very catalytic moon, meaning that it's going to be creating a lot of change in your life, okay? Changing an upheaval in your life. So this first, the fire card really does sort of suggest that there's going to be some sort of initiation. So this is like initiative energy. This moon is going to initiate great amounts of change, and there's going to be a process. This is just the beginning of this process. We have the initiation component, and then you will be integrating it, you know, like throughout or maybe even over the next 6 months. So that when the Tower card comes out, it is quite dramatic. There's a very dramatic sudden burst of change. You can see there's electricity that it sort of signifies this sudden shift, like something very sudden and dramatic happening in the first of the fire. So Mars in that 10th house, maybe, you know, it's to do with your career, public reputation, how other people are viewing you. It could be authority figures too coming in, okay? Or maybe it's just a really dramatic idea. With the T-square with your first house, it may be challenging your identity, maybe challenging who you are as a person. And this Larimar card really does sort of suggest looking beyond. So if you are triggered, so say this is a trigger, something triggers you, comes up, and you're feeling very reactive. These are very reactive energy, okay? So if you're feeling really reactive, looking at your identity, looking at who you are as a person, is this about, are you being challenged? Is somebody challenging your identity? Is somebody challenging your who you want to be, who you think you are? Are they doing it for a reason? Is it true? Are you seeing yourself clearly? These are all things to look at if you're feeling very reactive at the time. There is something new coming through with the Ace of Coins. Like I said, I do feel like this is something that's going to unfold over the next 6 months for you. This is going to look back at this moon and this will be where it began. Something that you can nurture and something that you can grow. Maybe it is to do with your career. Maybe it's to do with your home environment, your home life, okay? But it's going to come out of these obstacles that are going to trigger you. So there's a lot of obstacles here, and there's a lot of polarized energy at this time through this moon. So a lot of people will feel reactive. So maybe other people are reacting to you as well, and maybe you're needing to look up beyond their fire. You know, they may be reacting, and then you're the one that needs to be emotionally stable for somebody else. So that 4th house is the house of our emotional body. We have the King of Cups here, so the Muse of Emotions in this deck, recommending that you really take charge of your emotions at this time. Allow your emotions to flow through you. Allow them to be the guidance system that they're supposed to be. And that's always the case with the moon, but doubly so for you during this moon because of the 4th house placement. So really recognizing your emotional guidance system at this time and working with it very closely. So if these triggers come up, if there's anger, for example, let's use the example of anger comes up for you, instead of identifying yourself as an angry person or attaching to that anger, that emotion, detach and look at it from the perspective the King of Cups would look at it from, is like, something's made me angry. This emotion is a message about something. What's it trying to tell me? Because you have this opportunity to move forward in, so the 6 of Swords here is about moving across, so moving over into calmer lands, into a new space. Okay, you may not know where you're going just yet, but there is an opportunity for something new. There's fresh new energy coming in. Ace of Coins, 6 of Swords. This could be the catalyst that was needed, that was necessary to shift you into this next phase with the 6 of Swords here. Maybe you were too comfortable over here and something had to happen in order for you to step across that, to bridge that gap. So recognizing that, looking at that from a detached perspective, not allowing your emotions to run away with you during this moon will be very helpful for you, Pisces. Okay, so that is your reading. Good luck with this moon, and I will see you in the December forecast. Take care.